Hello YouTube, welcome to my review of the beautiful 5 centimeters per second. I first witnessed this film 2 years ago. I was instantly stunned by the artistic style of the animation. 5 centimeters per second looks like a moving painting. Outside of the characters looking sort of out of place sometimes, this movie was the most beautiful animation I had ever seen. Now that I am done with my praising of the aesthetics, I shall move on to the story. The stories presented begin looking like a typical coming-of-age love story, but takes a surprising but unfortunately realistic twist. The story of Akari and Takaki is that of a relationship hindered by separation. In the time the story is set, social media was not the massive entity in the lives of regular folk like today. So if someone moved as near as 2 blocks away or as far as 2 cities from yours, you could not simply search for their Facebook or text them to keep in touch. You had to bus down or take a subway or maybe drive. So most of the time people would just lose contact naturally. People sometimes keep in contact nowadays, not because they want to, but because they are forced to do so. With so much technology, you have no choice. Takaki learned the hard way that prioritizing love for a singular person not near you is not only unrealistic but harmful, as his love for Akari took his life hostage. He was unable to move on for years, until at the closing chapter of the film, when he realizes it's better to let a free bird fly than to cage it for the sake of your own eyes. Akari and Takaki not only moved on by distance or location, but naturally grew apart in paths of life. Akari found love, and Takaki found freedom to the shackles he placed on himself by refusing to let go of his affections for Akari. In the second act, we are introduced to a new character, Kanae. Kanae is a teen trying to discover who she is, but seems to be constantly falling short. This can be seen by her failure to master surfing, or her inability to confess to Takaki, who she has been in love with for a long time. By the closing of this episode, we see her growth as she strives to confess her feelings on the same day she finally masters surfing. Kanae comes to the realization that Takaki has never liked her. She now understands that not all her wishes or dreams will come true. Her aching acceptance of this represents her growth as a human and her being one step closer to reaching maturity as a person. This is a lesson that love is not always felt on both sides, and that the only way to be free is finding the ability to cope with the painful experience of rejection. 5 centimeters per second is not what all will like, but certainly a tale that rings true for many. The soundtrack is also worth mention, as it blends with the melancholy emotions of the characters and the visuals of the gorgeous animation. My rating for this film is 8.4 out of 10, as it did drag on a bit, but it was still a great experience that made me think and reflect, which is always something that I cherish in anything that I decide to watch.